I was looking through some old stuff and I found a little gem from 1991, and that was my mother, looking kind of badass. So here she is. So there she is. There is Mama DanceBiker right there. This is 1991. If I try and make that a little bit bigger, looking kind of badass with that SA80 there. Now you might be wondering, like, what's this all about? Was DanceBiker's mum in the military? No, no, she was not. But my dad was. He was in the RAF. So what what this was a day where all the wives and girlfriends, the women of the RAF men, got to have a day, basically having fun with the RAF regiment lads and getting to do some training. They did some live fire exercises. They did some sort of pretend scenarios, which we're going to have a watch of in a minute because it's kind of hilarious. They did all sorts of stuff, right? This kind of stuff that they could probably never do these days because of health and safety protocols and things. I don't think they would ever be able to get away with this kind of stuff now. But this was 1991, okay? It was a different time. It was a good time. So what I'm going to do is I'm first of all just going to play through the video in its entirety. I've sort of edited down the video to a sort of a bite-sized piece. I'm just going to let it play all the way through. And then I'm going to go through and give some commentary and sort of break it down a little bit because it's kind of funny. So without further ado, roll tape.
I'm probably going to be scouring the woods next 2 weeks. Push it out hard. Give it a tug, check it on properly. See? That's it, good. Ready? There we go. Okey-dokey. What I want to do now is put your change lever to A. Do you want to take it further? Where are they going? Back here, is it? Right, 3 on the right hand side of the track, 2 on the left hand side of the track. One behind the other, okay? Right, back up then, back up quickly now. We've got to come back. Keep going forward, keep going forward. What? Keep looking. Spread out a little bit, spread out a little bit. And you have to look far again, remember, short bursts, don't so. Hopefully the magazine. I think you got him. Be careful when you pull the buttons, girl. Make your back to somebody's head. If you can't see that far, right, move back to the right or something so you can look forward. Get the moving a little bit.
Okay, I just recorded a load of footage with my microphone on mute because I'm a boomer. So I'm going to try this again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play through, but I'm going to give some commentary this time, and I'm going to break this down a little bit. So here they are, just getting sorted out with the rifles. These are SA80s. If you're wondering what the yellow thing at the front is at the front there, it's like a muzzle flash protector that they use when they're firing blanks. Okay, because they're not firing live rounds in this exercise, but blanks can still be very dangerous, and the yellow protector there stops any potential bits of stuff stuck in the barrel from getting fired out and injuring people, and just generally it's for safety. He just said switch it to A, so that's the switch to automatic fire. Now this is something that most civilian guns don't do. These are military grade. These are SA80s from 1991. So here they're going on patrol. and they've been told that they're going to be attacked at some point, so they've got to stay sharp, they've got to look all around them. This is my mum here on the left, wearing sort of purpley kind of 90s trainers, the kind of purple colour. There she is. So you've already seen this playthrough, so when this first guy comes along, here she goes. To be fair to my mum here, she does really well, right? She drops down, she actually points the rifle in the right direction, lets off a few rounds, and whereas some of them actually, they let off way too many, like half a magazine's worth almost. In fact, I think at one point you even hear the guy say, like short bursts. You don't want to be like unleashing half the magazine here, sort of thing. There you go, short bursts. Now, I'm going to break down the shooting here. So, although my mum did quite well, I can't say the same for some of the others. So, one of them on the right here in the middle, she was firing into the trees where the guy wasn't. He wasn't that far to the right. And then she sweeps left on automatic fire, like brrr, and she nearly, in real life, she would have nearly taken the head off of a friend in front of her. Really quite dangerous way of swinging that while firing, Alec Baldwin style. Yeah, so but I don't think she would have hit the woman in front, but it would have been pretty close. Okay, so between them, they've established that this guy, they're going to say, right, they've killed this guy. So here he is, poor fella. He's dead. He's browners. There he is, although still moving. So there he goes. Yeah, short bursts. Trying to tell them don't be unleashing half a mag on these guys. So they're using flashbangs there to try and sort of unnerve them and test them. And my mum, I think, was the only one that actually dropped down on one knee there. To be fair, she was getting ready. Now this next this bit's hilarious to me. There she goes. So again, my mum quite quick to drop down, and she starts firing rounds to the front and slightly to the left, where there's trees and bushes, hedges. So she's obliterating these hedges and the trees. Unfortunately, that's not where the threat's coming from. The guy's coming from the front and to the right. So, although she's scaring a lot of trees, she's not hitting anything there. She's not defending very well. But yeah, still doing better than this lady at the very back, because now it's hard to see because of the angle, because the way the camera's kind of behind her, you can't fully see the angle of the rifle. But at one point you can see she's definitely firing rounds in between a gap between the two women in front of her, really close to them, like probably would have winged one of them in the shoulder, maybe hit one of them in the side of the head. It's hard to tell entirely, but she may have killed those two women in front of her. Let's have another little look. I might even put this in slow motion as well. Oof, yeah, yeah, that's pretty bad. I think she might have killed a friend there. So he's telling her, like, if you can't see there in front, get further to the right. Don't be shooting through the people in front of you. So there he is, poor fella. He's also dead. So I think they had really good fun doing this, and it's the kind of thing that you probably couldn't get away with doing nowadays. It's with all the health and safety stuff. They're not officially weapons trained, so they even actually did the live firing at the range with the real rounds, doing the proper live firing. I don't think they'd get away with that nowadays, but things were a bit more lax, a bit more fun back in the 90s. People took more measured risks. My mum did say to me that what was quite funny is these lads chatted to them afterwards and said, in a real life scenario, that first guy probably would have been able to kill them all because some of them probably would have shot each other. Some of them were just firing in the wrong direction, and if with him having the drop on them, he probably would have just wiped them all out. Bless them. But my mum, she's a retired school teacher. She was a school teacher at this point in time as well. So yeah, I think she did quite well. I think she did quite well. However, if we're ever in this real situation where these kind of things need to be done, please, Mum, please give me the SA80. I'll have a go. Or my wife, for that matter. My wife's actually quite a good shot. She spent some time in America, and they went out to a range. She had to go with a rifle and also with a pistol. She had a go with a Glock, and she brought home the targets, and her groupings were really tight, and she's actually a good shot. So I'm not going to mess with my wife. She'd probably do quite well with the SA80 if we're ever under attack. But my mother, I think, please let the younger generation protect you. It's you've done your bit. Sorry, by the way, for the quality of the video. You know, this was recorded. It was an old VHS tape from 1991, played on a TV screen, and then I had to film the TV screen, so it's not the best. Unfortunately, the footage didn't actually show my mum at the live firing range. Had some of the other women, didn't have my mum on that one. That would have been interesting to see, but I think from all accounts she was a reasonable shot with the real live rounds. But they take their time there and stuff. Not like this kind of situation when they're walking through the woods where they have to react really quickly. I bet these lads had a great time doing this. What was funny as well is that for safety at the beginning, when they're wearing the camo gear, the guys have to check through all the pockets, make sure there hasn't been any live rounds left in there accidentally, anything that could potentially get into the gun that would be dangerous, or on them, because they were using their fellas' uniforms. They had to make sure there wasn't anything left in there that was dangerous. But the fellas fitted some of them up by putting like lipsticks in the pockets and things like that. So the guys were inspecting, going, "What's this all about?" And just generally having fun, winding them up. They did some stuff as well with the gas. They're putting the gas masks on with the CS gas or whatever type of gas it was, and all that kind of thing. Things that, again, I don't think you would get away with nowadays. But it was the 90s. And like I say, fair play to my mum. I think she did pretty well there. Apart from the sort of purple trainers, I don't think that's, what would we say? I don't think that's regulation. I don't think that's regulation uniform. But 1991. So that's it. Just a short video. Just wanted to show this little gem that I'd found going through some old stuff. And if you like my content, if you like these videos, feel free to subscribe and see what kind of things I make. I just make kind of random videos like this one. Anyway, catch you all on another video. See you all later. Bye.